This is Femi Kuti, and you are listening to NYC Radio Live.
How you doing, folks? This is David Ellenbogen. You're listening to NYC Radio Live. My guest is Knoel Scott of the Sun Ra Arkestra. We had an unbelievable conversation. He himself listened back and remarked that he was in a candid mood. And it was really interesting circumstances. We were both backstage at the Opus 1 festival. I was playing with Brooklyn Raga Massive, and we had the honor for opening for the Sun Ra Arkestra, which Knoel has been a member of since 1979. And he gives us the real scoop. But after we shared this, after I shared this episode, he, remarked on laughing about how candid he was, but he thought the music should have been Sun Ra's music. And I didn't want to add myself to the list of the countless kind of pirates over the years who have used Sun Ra's music without rights. So I was lucky to get this awesome track from Knoel Scott's group. And it tells his story a little bit, and the great Marshall Allen is playing as well. So that's awesome. And if you get this in time, you can catch the Sun Ra Arkestra. They're playing Saturday, the 16th of December, in 2017, at the New Blue Jazz Festival, along with a lot of great other acts. So anyway, we're going to hear some music from the great Knoel Scott, and then a really nice intimate conversation about his lives and times with Sun Ra Arkestra. And to me, we're just so lucky. We're so lucky to live in these times where you can speak with someone who knew the giants who walked the earth. I believe in hundreds of years people will know who Duke Ellington is and who John Coltrane is, and maybe Sun Ra. So here's the inside scoop. Here's some music from Knoel Scott. Enjoy.
Why was I born to love you and you and you? Now, the maestro here, he hails originally from Louisiana. I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. I was raised in New York City, but I was raised in a very special part of New York City, a community called Harlem. You talking about Harlem? Yeah, we're talking about Harlem. 125th Street, 7th Avenue. The Schomburg Museum, Marcus Garvey Park, the Harlem YMCA, the Bathhouse, which has one of the finest pools in New York City. You see, I was in Harlem when giants walked the earth. Muhammad Ali, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, he used to own Small's Paradise. So did Melba Moore. One day I was walking down 125th Street, I ran right into Jesse Jackson, Adam Clayton Powell, the nurse and radio pioneer Alma Nomsa John had Alma John's Talent Workshop on 125th Street. Duke Ellington lived at 909 Edgecombe, overlooking what was then called Colonial Park, Since then, it became Jackie Robinson Park. Johnny Hartman lived on 145th Street. Me and Stanley Turrington used to jam at the Blue Book on 145th Street. George Benson might slide into the Lickety Split on 138th Street. The Liberation Bookstore. Langston Hughes and County Cullen sketched the music through poetry. Romare Baradin painted pictures of jazz. We're talking about shrines of an ancient time when giants walked the earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Stacy on the piano. Tito Puente, Ray Barreto, Chocho Valdez, Jerry Gonzalez, Pucho. We talking about 116th Street. We talking about Spanish Harlem. Yo, take me to Spanish Harlem, Charlie.
What year did you start playing with Sonny?
July of 1979.
79. So at that time, was he playing some electric keyboards and this kind of stuff?
Of course. Yes, as a matter of fact, at that time, he was in the midst of, I guess, a 5 to 10 year, maybe 8-year residency at Variety Arts Recording Studio, where he just occupied the studio, like, say, from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. The owner, Warren, who was the owner, he'd be begging Sun Ra, please have a family, I have to go home. And he reproduced about 8 to 10 albums. Strange Luster Road, Omniverse, UFO, Nuclear War, God is More Than Love Could Ever Be, Sleeping Beauty, Fire Next Time, not Fire Next Time, that's James Baldwin, a Fireside Chat with Lucifer, and several other Side of the Sun, and a couple of other albums, all done at Variety Art Studio. He auditioned me the day before at Warren Smith's Composer's Workshop at Studio West. He came there, played piano, and told me, if you want money, fame, or fortune, you don't want to work with my band. It's the creator's band, and I work for the creator. So again, if you want money, fame, or fortune, you don't want to work with me. At that time, I was young and idealistic, and what he was talking about was so outerworldly. I already knew from listening to Jazz at Silhouette and from experiencing the raw performance at the Beacon Theater in, I think it was 1976, first time I saw the band and heard the band. And I knew it was my dream to play with Sun Ra and to be part of the orchestra. So it was cool. If I knew that so many people would get rich, other people would get rich, that had nothing to do with the creativity and the work and the sacrifice involved, I probably would have went along anyway. He explained that, well, if I try to be successful with this music, they will block me. But no one can stop me from being unsuccessful. So they can't stop me from losing. If I try to make money, they'll block me. So, but no one will stop you from losing money. And he literally ran the orchestra in the red.
Wow.
You tell him bring 10 people, he brought 15. No, excuse me, he brought 25.
Wow.
He ran the band in the red and took the band all over the world. He said, if I try and get my music out there, they will block it. So I'm going to let them steal it. And he said, and my music will be all over the world. Almost 50 years after his departure, his music is all over the world, and we're still working. And the Sun Ra is known throughout the world.
Wow. So I'd love to hear about the rehearsal process. How would he run a rehearsal? Was it all rehearsals all the time? I don't know.
We have to understand, Sun Ra is an insomniac. He did not sleep. Maybe 2 hours, a little cat nap. So that meant 22 hours of the day. He's creating. He had so many ideas and so much information to impart. It was mind-boggling. You know, you'd sit there for a while until your head would start to hurt with the information he was imparting to you. And you'd be like, oh, gotta go. Oops. I forgot I had to see you. You get out of there. People say, well, that the members of the band were unbelievers. I've seen some interviews, etc. No, they didn't believe. It wasn't that we didn't believe. His code of discipline was impossible. Only one who could stick to his discipline was him. He was a very special person. He probably wasn't from here. I believe he truly wasn't from here. But for us mere mortals, no, you do the best you could. But no one could live up to those principles. nobody in flesh and blood. John and June were his best, or number one disciples, I would say. John Gilmore, June Tyson, possibly Jack Jackson. But basically, you know, when you was around Sonny, you did as Sun Ra said, and then when you were in your private domain, you lived your life the way you saw fit. You know, that's made us different from what people term as a cult. Because in a cult, people just have this dogmatic it's the opposite of possessiveness. I'm running out of words. But they're so caught up in
submissiveness, kind of.
Yes. And that permeates every aspect of their lives. Like I said, Sun Ra's discipline was impossible. I mean, discipline was impossible. All right, let's give you an example. Sitting here smoking a cigarette. Sun Ra told me, you smoke those cigarettes, you take that nicotine and that smoke into your lungs. And then you blow that smoke and that nicotine out of your horn. So when you play your saxophone, you're hurting people. And he was dead serious. I'm like, damn, I'm sorry, Sun Ra. Gotta go.
Right.
But that's... So, and now I'm a real, you know, I was young and idealistic, you know, so I'm like, come on, Sun Ra. Everybody wants something. What do you want? Let's be for real now. Mm-hmm. What do you want? He said, I want 10 galaxies, 12 solar systems, and 7 universes. And he was looking at mine, he was dead serious.
Right.
How? He wasn't from here. He was very special. Very special.
So many people that I've met, you know, Ron and you, and people always kind of tell me that there's stories of strange things happening, kind of spooky things happening, things you wouldn't expect would happen.
Oh, yeah.
Is there one that's come to your head?
Yeah. Like I said, someone had his disciplines. For example, if someone was 1 minute older than you couldn't contradict them.
You couldn't contradict them?
No. You had to be submissive to them. If they were 1 minute older, you could not talk back to them. If they told you something that was wrong, you had to just, because they're older than you. Also, you couldn't speak too positively. Because if you speak too positively, your words go out in reverse and bounce, and it comes back in reverse. But you can't speak too negatively, because then you put that vibration out there, and you make that happen. So I was a little flippant one time with him about something. He said, you shouldn't say that, Knoel. I'm young. You know, I'm in my 20s. And he was sitting. I was standing in front of him, and he just looked at me. He was just looking at me, staring at me. And my whole body got tingly hot from the bottom of my soles of my feet to the top of my head. There was this tingle. Hot, fiery, hot. I was like burning up. And I'm just standing there. I'm like transfixed. So after a while, I'm like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, son. I apologize. I got away from him. I went over to John and Jack. I said, hey, man. I said, Sonny, something he didn't like. And my whole body got hot. You had the raw fire. That's when I found what the raw fire was.
The wrong fire.
The raw
fire.
The raw fire. That only happened. I only got it once.
Wow.
I got that once. I conducted myself in such a way that I never had to go through that again.
Wow.
That's just one thing.
Whew.
I got one more to share with you.
Okay, go ahead.
We were playing in, I think it was Hartford, Connecticut. It was overcast, terribly overcast. And so I'm looking at this overcast. You know, I'm New York, trying to make my little bebop. So, you make a little quotation based on the atmosphere. So I go on, doo-doo-da, 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 stormy weather in my solo. Right after I did that, it started raining. Buckets. Just buckets. People didn't go nowhere. We played our set. It was outdoors. We played our set in the rain. So after the set was over, I think it was like my third or fourth gig with the band. They said, "Hey, Knoel, Sonny mad at you." I said, "Uh-oh. You better go back there. Sonny mad at you." So I went back there. I said, Sun Ra, I heard you was mad at me. He said, "Yes, I'm upset with you." I said, "Well, Sun Ra, what did I do?" He said, "You made it rain." Made it rain? You played stormy weather. I'm like, oh. Wow. I said, darn. And I realized what he was talking about because I put that in my solo, and it did start raining. I'm running like, oh, darn, I did that? I didn't know I could do that. Oh, darn. I messed up. I did the wrong thing. So I'm like, I'm sorry, Sun Ra. I walked away. But I wasn't, he considered me kind of intelligent. He did. I still used to get headaches listening to him. But, so about 5 minutes later, I went back to Sun Ra. I said, Sonny, excuse me, what should I have played? He looked at me like I was the stupidest person on the planet. Blue skies. So, we're on break. This is during the break. Right. We go for our second set. The second set, because the band always is playing before Sun Ra comes out. So, I jump up there. I'm the first one to take a solo. And in my solo, I go, doo-dee-da, doo-doo-dee, nothing but blue sky, doo-doo-doo-da. The rain went, pop, just like that. Sun came out, we played our set.
Wow. And have you seen him use these kind of strange abilities to kind of fuck with people who had fucked with him first? Or was that something that happened?
Oh, no.
No?
Sun Ra would never do that.
No.
I'll give you an example. I did something, I don't know what I did. And I said, darn, Sun Ra, will you forgive me? I probably gave me $100 bill to do something. I probably kept it, spent the whole bill or something. Come on, I wasn't a good guy. So I'm sorry, Sun Ra, will you forgive me? He said, I can't forgive you. He said, there was this trumpet player, and I was showing him some music, and what I was showing him was, Sun Ra had some really different ideas in terms of harmony and usage of dissonance and things. And some musicians who are European trained can't deal with it. It's like, no, it's wrong, and they literally go out. So he told me a story that he was showing this music to this trumpet player, and he got so upset, he slapped him.
The trumpet player got upset.
Yeah. And so actually he got so upset about the musical ideas someone was showing him, he slapped someone. And then a little while later, or whenever, I don't know, he came back and asked Sun Ra to forgive him. And Sun Ra said he forgave him, and the guy died a week later. So he couldn't forgive anybody. He wasn't allowed to forgive anybody.
I heard some story about way back in the day, a kind of racist club that he played, and it was some really degrading thing, and after he left, the place burned down.
Probably. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. And because he took no direct action. He didn't have to. Well, actually, he had Elo and Jackson take direct action.
So, do you remember any times he gave you specific direction on your instrument? Something that's really stuck with you?
That thing about making the rain stop. Mm-hmm. because I've done it since then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've done it since then. Other than that, he always told me stop trying to play Charlie Parker.
Uh-huh.
But then, at the same time, one time I was practicing Scramble from the Apple, and I wouldn't hit the intervals right. He showed it to me. And he always had an alto player in the band who was a child who was a bird sycophant.
Mm-hmm.
Sycophant. So,
Right.
so, like Marshall says, you took what you needed and what you could use. And it was so much. I'm not even going into the Egyptology and the numerology and the word instrumentalist. That drive you crazy because it was so much information. See, he was a scholar. He had a photographic memory and he had total recall. So he quote the biblical text, verse, and all that, and the page number. Take a word, break it down to the roots of the word, and then show you how the word is used in this book, in this book, in this book, how the word is used in this sentence here, how the word is used in colloquially, the way people speak. And then he'll do the numerology on the word. And then he'll permutate the numerology. And by that time, you have a splitting headache because this is all this in the course of about 2 hours, and he's still talking about that one word, that one phrase, and all the different possibilities of interpreting it, and how the concept of it is incorrect because it's used so on, and it shows you other ways of interpreting it. I mean, there are other people who do things like that, like Frederick Casey Price, or even Dr. Malachi York or something like that. But Sun Ra's was so thorough and advanced. That's why people are still studying his lectures. He'd have as many people listening to him or in line for his lecture as he would for the performance. It'd be a whole separate, and these be PhDs and college professors and all that, and they have them spellbound. Yes. Fine. Let me know when it's time.
All right. I'm learning a lot, man.
I can't come back down here.
Yeah. So, to me, seeing the band now, it's amazing because stuff that might have been really challenging to listeners when you first joined the band musically, it seems like the time is caught up to the music a little bit. Is that you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. Yes, definitely. I mean, look, he had cats like Grateful Dead and Parliament Funkadelic, and with George Clinton, and Earth, Wind and Fire, and other groups like that to expand on or expound his principles. Right. And not to mention cats like Threadgill, ACM, so there's
Coltrane. I mean,
yes, especially
right,
Coltrane.
John Gilmore was such an influence of Coltrane.
Yeah, he taught him. He introduced him to some counterpunctual ways of thematic improvisation and some intervallic ways of developing his improvisation. And then Coltrane took it and ran. And so in between what John Gilmore showed him and what Sun Ra showed him, he changed his life and came out with Love Supreme and spent the rest of his life really trying to have his own orchestra, you could say. Because his whole concept was to try to recreate what Sun Ra was doing. It was to take his music to that plane.
And did you feel that there's also like a kind of message that sometimes now it's like becoming very popular? Have you heard this concept people call about Afrofuturism? Have you heard?
Of course.
I mean, he's the guy, right?
Of course, he's the creator of it. Sun Ra, all you got to do is watch Space is a Place. that movie.
Was that before your time?
Oh yes, it was done in 1974. But that was a visual and a simplification of what Sun Ra was trying to do. Mm-hmm. When he was abducted by aliens, they instructed him. Remember, Sun Ra comes from the segregated South, Birmingham, Alabama, when this area, this region was in the throes of apartheid, American apartheid. They call it segregation. It's apartheid, same thing. And the hell that African Americans were going through is indescribable. And so when the aliens took Sun Ra to Saturn, they told him, they gave him instructions on how to save African Americans. First thing was to waken them up. And because people think that we are taught that our history in America begins with slavery. It did not. Not all those slaves came from Africa, were captured in Africa. A lot of those slaves were indigenous Americans who were also put into slavery. We were here 2,000 years before Columbus. And because there was a line, a current that comes directly from Egypt or West Africa over to America. Actually the Caribbean. But we were here. So first of all, we had to recognize the true history, okay? Because part of the problem of in terms of inequality, racism, etc., is that people don't know history. You know, it's easy to feel superior to somebody who you've held in chains, and that's all you know is that they were in chains. It's kind of different for you to also perceive these people as someone who was here before you got here, who built pyramids not only over in Egypt but over on American soil. You know, South American soil, the Olmecs of so part of his mission was to inform and waking up and re-educate or African American people as to who they are. We are the original Egyptians who were forced by the Romans out of Egypt through and sold by.
End it gracefully.
Space is a place. Anyway, that was his mission. Yep. Now, what happened was, it was a little bit too much for people because they've been indoctrinated. The church has told them one thing, the educational system, and so the solution was to go out into outer space. Of course, it was also allegory and metaphor for the space within oneself, but also transmolecularization. The Egyptians knew how to move themselves from here to there. The ancient Egyptians knew about space travel. We have all of those information in our genetic code, which is melanin. So Sun Ra was instructed to enlighten and to save African Americans. But they weren't ready for it, and they didn't want to hear it. So he said, okay, y'all basically didn't want to hear it, so I'm going to save the world. I'm going to save the planet, okay? And he said, I'm going to grab white youth.
I'm going to what?
Grab the white youth. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did. And that's what our audiences are now. Now that they've been, their attention has been, now all of a sudden, and now there are young African Americans who are way on. Oh wow! Right. Oh wow! Now they're listening. Right. So now there's the young people, young African Americans, are starting to waken up and aware of the genius of Sun Ra.
All right, thanks for your time, man.
My pleasure.
We'll keep in touch.
All right now.